Hey, Brandon.
What?
I must ask you a question. Does this fragrance really smell like YSL's Tuxedo?
Stay tuned to find out.
It's Reagan with a quick video. Back again with my boy, Brandon. Art of Fragrance. It's been a while. COVID has completely upended the world. So I haven't seen my boy since the last video we did, which was a couple months ago.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
been a hot minute.
We went to Wendy's. Halloween's coming up, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to do a little mini costume for this fragrance that everyone's been talking about, saying this fragrance smells just like YSL's Tuxedo, which is like a, I don't know, $250, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
It's pretty expensive fragrance. I've owned that one before. I think it's like amber and a couple of other things. I can't really remember what's in that fragrance. But the fragrance we're discussing is Moustache, however you guys want to pronounce it, from the house of Rochas. Here is the box, guys. Check that box out. Looks very dated. Looks kind of 70s. Reminds me of these like these porn stashes we're wearing. Yeah, kind of. But yeah, so this is a decent looking box. It's okay. Very dated, like I said. But yeah, not the best box I've ever seen. The color scheme's not bad. I do know they have. Yeah, I do know they have a couple of other versions of this. They have like a cologne version, and I think like a, I don't know, maybe just like an older eau de toilette version or something like that. This is the parfum version. Here is the bottle. This is a better looking bottle than the box, so we'll say it's very, very thick and heavy glass here. We do have some, I guess some ridges going around the glass here. Nice, ooh, that's on there pretty good. Nice heavy, feels like metal with plastic on the inside cap. Gray, like metal gun gray, whatever they call that, atomizer. Yeah, this is 100 ml fragrance, but yeah, I do like the red on this. It really makes it stand out with the black on there for the fonts. So go ahead and tell them a little bit of information about this fragrance and the notes.
All right, guys, so Moustache by the house of Rochas is an EDP concentration released in 2018, classified as an Oriental woody. Okay. In the top, we got mandarin and pink pepper. In the middle, we got rose and cedarwood. And in the base, we got patchouli and benzoin.
Ooh, okay. All right, well, I guess I'll give this fragrance a first impression.
Yeah,
see
I
what
mean,
it's about.
I used to have Tuxedo, so I should, if it smells like it, I'll know.
I really did. I've held onto this bottle for months, and I talked to him months ago saying, I want you to try this, because I know that he owned Tuxedo for, he owned it for a long time. And so I know that his nose is used to it. He knows exactly what it smells like. I owned it for a short time, but I have a pretty good memory when it comes to fragrances. So let's get this fragrance a first impression. All right, I'm gonna let Brandon have the honor of doing the first spray. I'm gonna try not to smell anything. Let him go ahead and a couple sprays on the. Now this will be my scent of the evening, so see if this one is. Ooh, good sprayer on this fragrance.
Yeah, let's spray it a lot.
Okay.
Smells like Tuxedo.
I'm getting that DNA. It's very spicy,
sweet.
Mm-hmm.
It does smell like Tuxedo. However, the predominant note in Tuxedo, if I remember correctly, I haven't been in the game for a minute, is ambergris. And there's none of that here.
Okay. I'm definitely getting that vibe. Something, it's the patchouli, maybe the benzoin for some sweetness, but the pink pepper is definitely giving it that spiciness or that
the kick,
a little bit of that kick.
It's kind of salty, sweet.
Mm-hmm. You're definitely getting the mandarin on top, the citrus notes. I mean, this almost has like a, I can see what they're talking about, but I think it's Tuxedo. Tuxedo's way better quality.
Yeah, but it's way saltier too.
Yeah.
Tuxedo dried down very ambergris heavy to me, and it doesn't smell like this is going to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people say that ambergris and amber are the same thing. I don't know, like, because I always thought ambergris was salty, kind of, and fresh.
Salty, yeah.
But then you get regular amber that's sort of like sweet and kind of what's the word?
Thick and
thick and heavy.
Resinous.
Yeah, a little bit of resins in there. I get a little bit of that with this, even though there's no amber in this or ambergris. They've somehow mimicked that in this fragrance. Not sure if that's what they're seeking out to do, but I mean, they did it. It smells pretty good, I guess.
It's pretty close. It's starting to change.
Yeah, it's
you can tell it's definitely a lower quality.
Yes, it almost smells like a bad clone almost. again, it smells nice. But if you have tried Tuxedo and you've owned it and liked it, and you're like, you know what, I want to save a few dollars. This isn't bad. It's just not super close to it enough to, well, I mean, depending on what your nose tells you and how much. I mean, I think I got this for like 50 bucks maybe. I think it's going for more. I think I just happened to get a really good deal on this bottle. But I do like the spice notes in it. There's something that is kind of off-putting, almost oily about this fragrance. I'm not sure if on my hand you're going to get something different. But
yeah, I get that on your hand, not on here.
There's something a bit, it could be the mustache here, guys. These are very cheap. And they've been sitting in my car for a while, waiting for this video to be made. But not a bad fragrance. Sweet, no, I mean, it's spicy.
It's close, but you're paying less and you're getting less quality. I mean,
yeah.
It is what it is.
Definitely citrusy. If you can get this fragrance for a good price, I think you know,
if you can't afford Tuxedo, then this is a good alternative.
Yeah, I'll definitely say that. I will give it that right now. You know, I'm going to do an update for this fragrance after I wear it a few times. This will be my scent of the evening, like I said before.
So we'll be able to get more feedback.
Yeah, and whenever, because usually when I do these reviews, I'm by myself or have, you know, sometimes Christy will give me feedback. But a lot of times I'll just wear them to work and we kind of sit far away from each other. So tonight, he knows the routine. He's going to let me know if there's good projection with this fragrance. We're going to be hanging out for a couple hours or a few hours anyway. And yeah, so what do you think right now? Okay, fragrance? Yeah?
Yeah, it's okay.
Not bad? Okay. Yeah, especially if you get this fragrance for a decent price. Maybe we'll see how much it changes here in the update. But I'm wear this fragrance tonight. Give you guys an update shortly. Talk to you then. All right, well, I'm back with my update for Moustache Eau De Parfum from the house of Rochas. Yeah, so I spent the last few days with this fragrance, and I gotta say, I do like this fragrance, and I do think it is comparable to YSL's Tuxedo. And I will say it is a cheaper alternative to Tuxedo. They're not exact by any means, but they are. It is close enough. And if you can get your hands on this bottle for a decent price, I don't know, I'd say 50 is on the low end. 65 would probably be too much. If you can keep it around 50 to 65 bucks. They do make a 1.7 of this, so a smaller size. If you can find it for less than that, you might want to pick up this fragrance because you're still paying considerably less than you are for Tuxedo. But, you know, I did like this fragrance for a few different reasons. You know, it did start off very sweet and fruity with the mandarin note, and it was sweet from the benzoin and the vanilla. So it's a little gourmandy as well. That pink pepper gave it a lot of spice. If you guys aren't familiar with pink pepper, that's like that spicy note, the main spice note you get like in Spice Bomb and like Royal Oud from Creed. You know, very spicy, almost fresh as well. The rose gives it a hint, gives it a bit of some tartness. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about when I say that, but it's the same kind of tartness that you get in Tuxedo, and the rose actually gives it a bit of that. This fragrance doesn't have any amber in it, but it really does smell like with amber, and I do think the rose actually helps it give it a bit of that same sort of amber sort of feel. Not really sure how. Maybe it's a combination of the rose and the vanilla. The patchouli, this might be my only downside of the fragrance. The patchouli does give this one a bit of a medicinal sort of flavor, almost like camphor. Camphor is the main note in Creed's Royal Mayfair, and that's probably the note that really turns everyone off from that fragrance. Not going to say it's turning me off from this fragrance, but I do get the same sort of camphorous type of feel in this fragrance. But that's really my only downside. Besides, I guess one more thing, but we'll get to that in a minute. Longevity for this fragrance was about average for an Eau De Parfum. I got 8 hours every time I wore this fragrance. Now that is going against the grain of what a lot of people were saying in the comments on Fragrantica. I think they were saying they were getting about 6 hours with this fragrance every time they wore it, but with me, I got 8 hours every time. Projection for this fragrance, well, this is the other part of the fragrance I didn't like. Contrary to the longevity, this projection wasn't the best. I did get the best, you know, maybe foot and a half in the first hour and a half, 2 hours. After that, it gets pretty close to the skin. Now, you will get wafts of this throughout the day, but it's definitely not going to fill up a room. Seasons for this fragrance, well, I do think this one might be safe enough to wear year-round. I do think just the overall smell of this fragrance really does probably have a better setting in like cooler weather, so probably best to wear this fragrance in fall, winter, and early spring. Occasions for this fragrance, well, this fragrance is very warm, spicy, and sexy, so definitely think you can wear this fragrance for date night, evening events, you know, formal events, anything at night pretty much. Not going to be strong enough for a club, but I definitely think it'll be safe enough for work. Ages for this fragrance, well, I do think the younger guys might like this fragrance because it's very sweet and sort of fruity with the mandarin note. Once that patchouli and the rose and the spices kick in, I do think that it might be a bit too mature for the younger noses, and it's a little bit expensive, being it's around 65, 75 bucks for 100 ml. I do think that 25 and up would be a perfect age range for this fragrance. So overall, I do like this fragrance, and I do think it's a good alternative to YSL's Tuxedo. That is a very expensive fragrance, guys. I know that they make 2 sizes, but even the small size is still pretty expensive. And, you know, I'll have to find the best price and leave it in the description, guys. But, you know, just shop around for this one. I want to say you could buy this one at Fragrance Buy, which is in Canada. I think you have to pay extra for shipping, but I think they sell it up there pretty cheap. And you might get lucky online. I know eBay was selling bottles, like the 75 ml bottles, for around 60 bucks, I think. But still, people don't trust eBay. I do sometimes just look at the seller rating. But I will try to leave a link below. If there isn't one, it's probably because I couldn't find you guys a good price. But just shop around. You might get lucky and get a good price on this fragrance. It's definitely cheaper than YSL's Tuxedo. So if you can get your hands on this fragrance for a good price, I think you're going to like this one. It's not exact. I think that Tuxedo is way stronger. I mentioned in the first half of the video, it's better quality. This fragrance has its own quality, though. It's not bad. It's just that one's just, you know, super strong and, you know, lasts a very, very long time. It is a parfum, but it's stronger than this parfum. This one might be a watered down version, which honestly, I think some of you guys might like a watered down version of Tuxedo, because that one could be a little bit heavy. It could be a little thick and dense. This one might be like a fresher version on that because it has that mandarin note. They don't share a lot of the same notes, but, you know, they do have the same DNA. And this one is probably just a fresher, maybe even lighter take on YSL's Tuxedo. So if you thought that fragrance was too heavy, too in your face, and also too expensive, then get your hands on Moustache, because I do think you guys will like this one for what it is. It, you know, checks a lot of the boxes off that I like in my fragrances. I wish it was a little bit cheaper, because honestly, there was a lot of hype behind this one, but it really is holding its value right now. I'm not sure what these go for retail, but for a fragrance like this, oh man, I was just hoping it would be around 35 bucks. You know, hoping you guys would get lucky out there. Maybe after a little more time, it will go down. I do think this was released in 2018, though, so it's been around for a few years, and it hasn't gone down that much. Again, from retail, it you know, maybe 75 or 85 bucks is cheap compared to the retail price. But if you guys can get your hands on this fragrance, I do think you guys will like it. You know, it doesn't have the best projection, but it does have really good longevity on my skin anyway. And you will get noticed wearing this one. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, it's not going to fill up a room. It's not going to, you know, annoy somebody behind you like Tuxedo might, because that's a very strong fragrance. But, you know, again, it could be a good thing this fragrance isn't as strong as that one, because you don't want to be, you know, turning people off around you. But, yeah, you know, nice fragrance, guys. So try it if you can. Alright guys, so now it's your turn. Have you guys tried Moustache from the House of Rochas? If you have, let me know your thoughts on this fragrance down in the comments below. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching our video on my channel. If you like this video, please click that like button, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notifications for future first impressions videos and fragrance related content just like this. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Dollars and Cents. There, you'll find fragrance related photos and future contest winners. And as always, until next video, you guys take care. Thanks.